Hello again, friends, and welcome back to Slim Bones Lego Star Wars channel. My apologies if I sound congested. I am. I picked up some sort of bug at the end of Holy Week, and it's been with me ever since. Anyway, the 75252 Ultimate Collector Series Devastator Star Destroyer that I color corrected in January of this year now has a complete custom minifigure interior. That's right. I said complete!
At last we will reveal ourselves to the Jedi. At last we will have revenge.
Love Star Wars.
Star Wars in my mouth!
Star Wars in your mouth!
Star Wars in my mouth! Yeah! Star Wars in my mouth!
Star Wars in your
Look at
mouth!
Star Wars in my mouth!
Let's go Star Wars.
You over there!
I am over here!
Star Wars in my mouth!
Lego!
Star Wars in my mouth!
Star Wars in your
Lego
mouth!
Star Wars in my mouth!
Go Star Wars.
Star Wars in my mouth!
Star Wars in your mouth!
Star Wars in my mouth! Yeah! Star Wars in my mouth!
Star Wars in your
Lego
mouth!
Star Wars in my mouth! Star Wars in my mouth!
Star Wars in your mouth!
Star Wars in my mouth!
Skull Medina!
Star Wars in my mouth!
Star Wars in your
Lego
mouth!
Star Wars in my mouth!
Star Wars.
Star Wars in your mouth! Bring that beat back!
Darth Vader. Lord Vader.
Good job.
Bum bum ba-da-da-dum, bum bum ba-da-da-dum, bum bum ba-da-da-dum, ba-da-da, bum ba-da-da-dum, ba-da-da, bum ba-da-da-dum, ba-da, ba-da-da-dum, ba, bum bum ba-da-da-dum, ba-da, bum ba-da-da-dum, ba-da. Bum ba-da-dum, ba-da, ba-da-dum, ba, bum bum ba-da-dum, bum bum ba-da-dum, bum bum ba-da-dum, bum bum ba-da-dum, ba-da, ba-da, bum ba-da-dum, ba-da, ba-da-dum, ba. Last time, the only minifigure interior things I had left to do for this project were the front and middle sections. What you didn't know is that when I published last week's video, I already had finished the middle sections. The problem was that the exact parts I needed for them hadn't arrived yet. So I left the side sections out completely for that video. Since the cat is out of the bag, you'll notice that the middle sections are mirror images of one another. This was not my original plan. The plan was to have one of them be dressed up as an Imperial hallway, and the other was going to be an area where maintenance was being done. It was going to include a ladder coming from the lowest point, the SW-1044 crew member, an astromech droid, etc. However, I have some very good reasons for not following through with it. After I was mostly finished with the hallway idea, I was very satisfied with how it looked. I couldn't believe how well this section of the Star Destroyer could be dressed up. And even better, instead of having these sections be separate from the rear of the ship, which I was certain would be a must, I found out after lots of trial by error fitting with the upper panels that a staircase could flow downwards from the rear section to the middle. I had no idea this could be possible. So I took that idea one step further and found that stairs could also connect to the front section from the middle. Wow! I now had a custom minifigure interior with a completely flowing design. One could travel from the front of the ship, through the middle, to the back, pass through the hallway that connects both of the lower levels, and find their way once again to the front. And the icing on the cake is that this completely flowing design still fits within the restrictions of the upper panel mounting positions. I love the way the middle hallway turned out. Sure, it's a simple design, but it fits the looks of this interior. And having a little repetition in an Imperial mock is not only fun, but also expected. Boom, 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 wop, 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 wop. Wop, 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 boom, 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 boom. As anyone can see, the front part of the 75252 set was going to be a challenge. There isn't a lot of space. And if one could find a way to mount a level floor in that small space, it would be tricky to make it interesting or cool. 1 week ago today, I began the process of trying to figure it out. There were 2 centralish pinholes accessible in the original structure of the Devastator. So I mounted a 64179 Technic 5x7 lift arm frame to it, then mounted a second one to the end of that. This gave me a decent amount of floor space, but I wanted a little more width. I mounted a 39793 connector block onto each side, which gave me the extra space I wanted. Now that I had my floor, I needed to keep it from sagging. So I mounted a pair of 1x5 lift arms from the protruding downward center lift arm that would connect to a 15100 pinhole connector, which would then mount back onto the 64179 frame's floor. I was happy to finally have a use for my SW1045 gunners, since I wanted this area of the ship to be a gunning station. However, clearance was absolutely going to be an issue in this confined space, even in the seated position. I worked it out though. The seats are mounted the thickness of one plate below the plane of the floor. From here, there is room for the both of them to be seated side by side, monitoring a fully armed computer station, all while barely having their helmets below the level of the sloped ceiling. This entire small area of the interior relies only on my imagination. I did what I could with it. This reflects no area I'm familiar with in all of Star Wars canon, but I like the way it turned out, and it looks a heck of a lot cooler than I thought it would. Friends, it's okay if you don't like this part. I get it. But given the small amount of space, it would be interesting to see what you would have done with it. Bum 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 ba-da-da-dum, 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 bum ba bum ba bum ba ba-da ba-da-da ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Bum bum ba-da-da-dum, bum bum ba-da-da-dum, bum bum ba-da-da-dum, bum ba-ba-da-da-dum, bum bum. Bum bum As the size of this interior has grown, so has my need for additional minifigures. I've added 2 of my SW0543 TIE pilots and an additional SW0769 Imperial Navy Trooper. Now that I had a third Navy Trooper, I wanted his face to be unique, so I switched it out for the head from the original Death Star Trooper SW0374. Over the past few weeks, I've been listing all of the minifigures, but neglected on telling you about the Stormtroopers. I have a total of 10 of them for this mock. Those troopers that are not SW0997Bs are definitely one of the most recent Stormtroopers from the Mandalorian Marauder set. Bum bum ba-da-dum, ba-da-da-dum, bum bum ba-da-dum, ba-da-da-dum, bum bum ba-da-dum, ba-da-da-dum, bum bum ba-da-dum, ba-da-da-dum, bum 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 ba bum bum ba bum 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 ba bum bum ba bum bum ba ba-da-da-da, bum bum ba-da-da-dum. Bum 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 ba bum bum ba ba bum bum ba-da-dum, ba-da-da-da, bum bum ba-da-dum, ba-da-da-da, bum bum ba-da-dum, ba-da-da-da, bum bum ba-da-dum, ba-da-da-da, bum 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 ba bum bum ba 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 bum bum ba bum bum ba ba. Bum bum ba-da-dum, ba-da-da-dum, bum ba-da-da-dum, bum. Over the past 11 weeks, I've posted 11 videos here to this channel. The subject of my first 2 videos, and 4 of my last 5, have all been about the massive 75252 Ultimate Collector Series Devastator Star Destroyer color correcting project, and its eventual custom minifigure interior, which is now completed. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I never would have thought to create a LEGO Star Wars channel if it hadn't been for my inability, after many hours and days of research, to find someone, anyone else, who had already done this. I am more than happy to say that I'm the first, and even happier to say to you, after 11 weeks, that it has been my absolute pleasure to give and share with you a piece of my creativity. Thank you very much, from Slim Bones LEGO Star Wars channel. In my February 13th video, which was the second one posted to this channel, I mentioned that it would be May before I completed this minifigure interior project. It's April.